Hello, my friends. Welcome back to Tittle Tattle Tarot. It's Georgie. And on the table today, helping me, I have the Lightseers Tarot. I want to look at this case of Kouri Richins. For those of you that don't know about this one, and it might be my British friends, Kouri Richins, she's a mum of three, and it appears that she's poisoned her husband, Eric. This couple are in their 30s, and they live in Utah, or they lived in Utah, and had these three lovely boys. And Kouri Richins had, for some reason, attempted to give her husband drugs, poison, on a few different occasions, to such an extent that Eric had actually said to his family and his business partner, Kouri is trying to poison me, and if anything happens, please look at her. So we're going back to a year ago. It's March 2022. And I'm going to use the cards to illustrate this, first of all. So as I'm talking, I'm going to pull cards and see how the cards illustrate this whole situation. So we're back in March 2022, and Kouri has apparently said that she's closed a deal. This is what she tells the police. She's involved in real estate, or as we say in this country, estate agency. And she's closed a deal, she says, on this mansion. And her and Eric are celebrating. And he goes to bed and she gives him a Moscow Mule, which is some kind of vodka-based drink, to take up to bed with him. But she has laced this drink with, I believe it was fentanyl. So I'm just going to pull a few cards and just see. Yeah, just going to see what the cards say about this part of the story. So this is the illustration from the tarot on this part of the story. Magician. Yes, now this is a magician in his worst aspect. If you can see, this is rather interesting because he's like concocting something. This is mixing and concocting and doing what magicians do, creating something, manifesting something, all very magical and interesting. But we've got this in reverse. This is mixing and creating something poisonous, ill will, bad juju on this one. So yes, she's created this drink, what should be a Moscow Mule, should be a nice sort of magician's, bring this Moscow Mule to you, there you are, darling, nice, I've created this for you. But no, this cocktail is not what it appears, laced with fentanyl. And I think the fentanyl in this was about 5 times the dose that you would use for medicinal purposes, so 5 times the dose. So there we are. We have the magician there in his worst aspect, creating this potion. And judgment in reverse. What a bad judgment. Judgment the right way. Oh, well, yes, that was exactly the right thing to do. Poison your husband. Perfectly right. Yes, that's exactly what you should be doing. No, of course not. Totally bad judgment. Whatever situation they had, poisoning someone's not the answer, is it? The worst judgment possible. How on earth she thought that this was ever going to work out is beyond me. Archangel Gabriel, no, he wasn't happy about that at all. That was just not going to happen. So no, terrible judgment doing this. So she says to the police when they come, because she finds him dead at the bottom of the bed. So she phones 911, and the police come and what have you, stone cold dead at the bottom of the bed. And she says, well, I gave him this Moscow Mule, and then one of my boys, they're 5, 7 and 9, one of my boys was having night terrors. So I went in the bedroom with him, left my phone charging by the side of the bed, and went into my son and slept with him. So let's just let's have a little look at this part of the story. What will the cards elucidate with this? Strength, yeah, okay, yes. I mean, she comes across with a very strong alibi, oh, well, yes, I wasn't there. I don't know what happened because, my son was having night terrors. I'm this very strong mother, look after my little lambs. And, I went into the bedroom, spent time with my lamb and, soothed him back to sleep and spent all night there because strength this way up is this very kind, caring strength, the person who's in charge, who takes care of the wounded and the sick, the perfect mother, the good person who cares for the lamb. So she was caring for her lamb in distress. But of course, Queen of Swords, if she's talking, she's lying. So this is not true. This is a lie. No, that wasn't the case. She wasn't doing what she said she was doing. This was just a fabrication. Okay. So she finds him dead at the bottom of the bed. And, so that's it. Yeah, okay, he's died. That's terrible. She puts a post on Facebook the day afterwards, pouring out this grief about it. So I should imagine she got masses of attention for that. All about being a widow and how she missed her husband. This is the next day, all over Facebook. So what do the cards say about that? Posting this open grief about how devastated she is all over Facebook. What do the cards say? Well, she did a very good show of this, very good show, and people were devastated for her. It was, oh my goodness, 9 of Wands. Oh, this poor woman, look at her there. She's heartbroken. Her heart's even outside her body, and she's so lonely and isolated, and she's lost the love of her life. She did a very good job with this Facebook post. And this one here, 9 of Wands, well, she's trying to block out the outside world. She's got to protect her boys. This is like the protection card, 9 of Wands. I'm on my knees. Don't come near me. We need to grieve. I'm in a terrible state here. I'm only just about standing here on the 9 of Wands. I'm just before the 10 of Wands where this burden almost kills me. I'm on my knees. I'm blocking you out because we are so heartbroken. And here we are, curled up in a corner. So she does an amazing job with this, and everyone is so devastated for her, except for Eric's family, of course, her husband's family. And time goes on. So, there's like a year before anything else happens. But during that year, she's quite active, she writes a book. And this book is for her boys, helping them to deal with grief. And she wrote a book, Are You With Me? Which is, helping her and her boys recover from this here, from this 4 of Swords, and, to be able to let down the barriers of this grief, the 9 of Wands. So she writes this tale, a children's picture book, Are You With Me? All about dealing with the loss of their father, which is a wonderful thing to do if you know what you're doing and you can write from the heart and you could tackle such a very, very difficult project. Great. But no, well, she didn't have the empathy or the ability to tackle this project, but she had a bloody good go. So let's just see what the cards say about this children's book. Oh, she worked at it, the 7 of Pentacles, that is the working card. Temperance in reverse. Well, if you've got temperance the right way up, if you had those two, you'd say, well, temperance the right way up. This is the soothing balm. This is temperance pouring that soothing balm on troubled waters, trying to make these boys comforted. This is your caring, comforting card. 1 foot in this realm, 1 foot in the next realm, trying to bring them together to understand the loss, all of that wonderful, good feeling for this book. But no, we haven't got it that way up. Temperance in reverse, well, this is me, my selfishness, my devil energy, this. It's all about me. It's all about getting attention for me. It's all about my excesses, my feelings, me. This is temperance the wrong way round. And then 7 of Pentacles. Well, yes, she worked on it. She developed it. She worked on it. This was her project. 7 of Pentacles is a project. Yes, but it wasn't based on good healing. It was based on something altogether. She'd murdered someone. And there we go. Okay. So we carry on, and she's written this book. It's taken her a year to sort it all out, and she goes on to telly in Utah telly, and they interview her. She talks all about this book. She comes across very well. Well, I don't know. Do the cards think she does? How does she come across? How does she come across in this? What do the cards think about it? It's not what I think. How does she come across on telly, talking about this book, Are You With Me? Talking about her grief, the beautiful young widow. Oh, yes, 10 of Wands. It's been such a burden losing my husband. This is the plodding on, oh, God. It's been such a terrible burden. My poor boys and me, we've struggled and struggled and struggled without my husband, without their father. And I've written this book to help me, release this burden, to help them and Chariot. And then we can move forward with our lives. Charity is very much, going forward with our lives, and, we can heal and move on and, set a new direction in our lives. So, yeah, that's how she came across. Problem was, a month later, she's arrested. So, this is all earlier this year. I think that was about April that she goes on telly and says all about this book and, what a burden their life's been, and, want to move on and heal and God knows what. And then a month later, May the 8th, I think it was, the cops turn up and arrest her for murder. So it's taken a year looking at this, and goodness knows what. So in they stomp and off she goes, arrested for murder. Oh dear, yes, 5 of Pentacles. Yes, it's all been about the pentacle, it's all this has all been about pentacles. With this one here, 5 of Pentacles. Well, look what she's done to herself. She's made herself the total outcast. Everyone in her community, the family, certainly Eric's family, his sister, his business partner, they all see exactly what she is. She's just been totally isolated in this 5 of Pentacles. The 5 of Pentacles is the person that gets shunned. Doors are closed on them. Look what you've done. We don't want you in our mix. You are not welcome. Of course she's not welcome. She killed her husband. So this is what's happened. She gets arrested, and she's arrested for this Ace of Pentacles. This is what she wanted. This is what it was all about. She tried on several occasions to poison her husband with prescription. Well, they weren't prescription drugs. They were just, drugs from an old dealer. She had this dealer on speed dial. I mean, who does that? Who has a drug dealer on speed dial? I bet you don't. I don't. So, if you need a prescription, you go to your doctor, don't you? And then you go to the pharmacist and he writes it up all nicely for you and puts it in a bottle. Well, no, she rang this old drug dealer on speed dial, and she got some fentanyl before. And what else? Oh, she got some of that Michael Jackson drug. She asked for it. She said, well, can I have some of that Michael Jackson drug? Well, that doesn't sound good, does it? You know what happened to him. But it's all for this. It's all for the pentacle. That's what she wanted. So, her husband was a rich man, and, he had all these life policies and business policies, and she had her eye on that. And he was being quite obstructive in that he didn't want her to close on this deal. Do you remember originally I said they were celebrating closing on a deal for this house? Well, actually they weren't, because he'd said, no, you're not bloody buying that. We're not having that. We can't afford that, and we're not having it. But she knew he had all this money, and that's what she wanted. So she got this drug dealer on speed dial, and she tried to do this before. She'd laced a drink. I think they were in Greece at the time, and then she'd laced a sandwich. So let's just have a little look at that. All this sort of drug dealer on speed dial and lacing things in the past. The Tower, yeah, of course it was, and he knew this. He knew that he was living in a very unstable situation. He knew how unstable she was, the Tower, and how unstable he was, really, how vulnerable he was. And the Tower, I always like to think of the Tower as the body. His body being poisoned. I mean, he felt so ill, of course, when he'd had things from her in the past, and this whole tower, their whole situation was all crumbling around him, but he didn't move and he didn't go. But he was thinking, not thinking, he was going to divorce her, but he had to sort out the finances, because I believe they had a prenup, and she was due to get everything, so he needed to sort everything out, and he needed to sort out his business affairs, and he needed to make sure his boys were okay. So, there was a lot going on with this man, but he was getting ready to divorce her. And she went into his computer and she changed one of his policies. He had a policy with his business partner that was like a sort of death policy. And she went into it, tapped away, and made herself the sole beneficiary of this amazingly, very doing well business. So she changes it all over. The Wheel of Fortune in reverse. Well, yes, it was the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. If it had been the right way up, oh, whoopee-doo, you're now the beneficiary of this business. If anything happens, you're going to get all the money. Well, it's Wheel in reverse because the lawyer saw that something had been altered, and he phones up Eric and says, actually, your missus, she's got, is that what you wanted? And he said, what did he say? What did he say? He said, no, it bloody isn't. Look, Empress in reverse. You can't get more of the antithesis of the Empress than the Empress in reverse. The Empress in reverse, she's all for queens. She's a wonderful woman. What a wonderful woman my wife is. She's, oh God, she's wonderful. I couldn't ask for a better wife. She's a wonderful mother. She's a homemaker. She cares. Well, no, we've got this in reverse. He went crackers. This wife, she's well, I can imagine that he put around a few 4-letter words about her, and this is exactly what she is. And he was very worried, and this is when he's saying to his family, if anything happens to me, look at Kouri, because I feel that something bad is going to happen. Fair dues to him for staying with his children. But, all of this, it all comes down to the coin, doesn't it? All comes down to this money. He's trying to protect his money. She's trying to get it. So basically, in May, I think it's about May the 8th, yeah, she's arrested. And, we said how that all went down. So she's totally isolated from family and everything. This poor man's dead. His boys have lost their father and they've lost their mother as well. Let's just see what else we've got here. Let's just go to the heart of the situation with this woman. Let's think about, why would you do this and then write a book about it and make yourself, the absolute, the poor person who's had to deal with this and written this book. Make yourself the hero of this story. Let's just see what the cards say about making yourself a hero of this story. 8 of Swords. Well, this is basically what she's ended up with, isn't it? The 8 of Swords. She's she just made herself a prison. She did it all herself. She's encompassed herself in this terrible situation. Absolutely dreadful. She probably can't see any way out. She's definitely going to be handcuffed. Of course, she probably is, handcuffed, legs in shackles. She's just done it all to herself. It'll obviously go to court. It's not there yet, but it will do. But let's just have another one for her personality, for, her thoughts, her personality. What is this woman? What is this woman? Well, the hard-working woman for sure. Worked hard at her real estate business, worked hard to make pentacles. Yes, she did. That's what she was. She was working hard at her business. Money was so important. And she worked hard at trying to kill her husband, to be honest with you, as well. Worked hard at making the book. But what else? 7 of Wands. She had this ideal, what she wanted. And the 7 of Wands, it's sort of, I'm in the right card. In a Rider-Waite pack, it will be the person standing there with their wand, blocking everyone. And this is the kind of I'm in the right, I'm doing it right, stay back. And this is the kind of energy that is, I'm doing it my way, don't cross my boundaries, this is what I want. In this one, it's more meditative, if that's the right word, and it's more, going inward. But the traditional meaning is you're in a place of power and you're protecting what you feel that you've got. So yeah, I think that this is all to do with the money, the passion for the money, wanting it, and putting her boundaries down and saying, this is what I want to close on this deal, I want this, don't stand in my way, to her husband. She was so angry that he said, no, we're not going to close on this deal, we're not going to do that. So one more for her. Yeah, that's what she wanted. She wanted this property. And the year later, okay, she gets arrested, but just before she's arrested and just before that, she's worked hard. She said, I want this, I want this. She gets it. She gets this property and she closes on it. And she's having a party. Look at this. This is your party card. 4 of Wands, and 4 of Wands are about houses. And look, there's your tent. There's your house. All big old celebration. Had all the neighbours round, all her friends round. Let's have a big old party, bang our tambourines, because I've got my £2 million property, closed on this deal. Fabulous. This is just before she gets arrested. And so all a great God that she got what she wanted. Unfortunately, the sister turns up. Eric's sister turns up and says to her, well, actually, you're not the beneficiary. I am. He didn't leave you anything. I'm the one with the money. He's left everything, not the money, but the sort of what would you call it? The I don't know what you call it, but you know what I mean. The like the sort of legal side of things, the guardianship of the money, that kind of thing. And he'd left it all to his sister. She didn't get anything, and she's celebrating. So that came like a bolt out of the blue. So how did that go down? Oh, death. Oh my God. This was all about a death. This was all about getting rid of this husband, all about killing the husband, all about, getting the pentacles, all about property, all about greed, all about I'm in the right, I'm working hard and I'm in the right, and don't come near me because this is what I want. And death, well, it all ended in death. And rebirth. Well, yes, she is going to be rebirthed. She's going to be rebirthed as something very different, as a prisoner. So assume she is. She's not been proven guilty, but the police think she's guilty. My cards think she's guilty. So that will be another one to do during the trial. But what a web. And I am not a true crime person. I haven't followed this very closely. I've probably left out some details here, but I just wanted to get the energy from the cards surrounding this. And I think they did a very good job, and they illustrated this case very well. So that's it, Kouri Richins. Yeah, she won't be writing any more books, I don't think, unless she writes them from her prison cell. So yes. I hope you enjoyed that one, and I shall watch this case unfold in court whenever it gets there with great interest. You take care. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.